meeting to order. It's about 6:05. We do have a quorum. The town council liaison, Kirsten Merrill, is present. Also present is the Public Works Director.
Yes, sir. Zachary Edwards.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Zachary Edwards.
And the town administrator, Trevor, and I don't know your last name. Aiken are present, and I want to welcome them. I'll open first by stating that we have tried to have people from Public Works attend our meetings in the past. We have never wanted to have them at every meeting, but we would like to get it established so that we do have them. And mostly because we want to build a working relationship with Public Works. I know there's been a perception that we wanted to supervise Public Works. That has never been true. I've been on the board since the inception, and that has never been true. We are not your bosses, don't intend to be your bosses, and if they tell us we have to be, I'm gonna quit. Your boss is sitting next to you over there, as far as I'm aware. So, but if we don't know what you're doing, it's hard for us to fill our role and advise the council. And it's also hard for us to work with you. So that's why we'd like to have attendance. We don't need it at every meeting, but you're certainly welcome to come to any meeting.
Thank you for that.
So I want to welcome you. That was a slight deviation from the agenda, and I want to do that even more because we're paying him, and we don't want to hold him up any longer and cost the town any money. So I'd like a motion to amend the agenda so that we can incorporate Zach's participation in the meeting.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carries. First thing I want to ask about, we understand that we are moving forward on improving Vista Drive.
Yes. Yep.
And I was at the workshop last night, so I heard a fair amount about it. So some of what you're going to tell me is not going to be new to me, but it might be new to the rest of the board. It also won't be new to Kirsten.
Yeah.
I understand we had $600,000 budgeted initially to pave Vista, and we have deviated from that and have decided instead to purchase a truck that will spread tar and that we're going to remove 20 plus inches of
24. Yeah.
24 inches, so 2 feet of road
Yeah.
depth, and we're gonna put the base down ourselves.
Yep. That's kind of what I was waiting on to hear before the meeting is the track hoe coming from CAT should be being delivered now. We rented a big machine that we can dig it out. The plans are to dig out in a couple of days, dig all the material out. We got 7 dump trucks that's gonna be running. We're gonna stockpile right here behind First Response. We can keep the material on site so we can use it for other projects like the Vista West swale, you know, the big deal. We're leveling that out, bringing that up to grade, putting a 5-foot culvert in there. So why take the material here? And that was some of the talk with a contract is they would come in and do it, then they would haul the material off, then we paid for that, and then we paid for material to be brought back. And then when we do Vista West, or we do Vista East, or whatever we decide to do, we have to buy the material. We already own the material, why shouldn't we keep it? You know, that was the biggest thing. And yes, for to do the dirt work and paving was a little over $1 million to do it if a company come in and done it.
It was 1.2 was our
estimate.
was our estimate, yeah.
So that's basically.
That's just the dirt work.
No, that was the whole
That would
project.
do the whole
project.
75,000 feet.
Yeah, we're doing the dirt work and everything, we've done and got the road base stockpile, Public Works, for what's gonna be put back. We're roughly going, and we shot for a high number, but we're gonna do it for under 100, the dirt work. You know, we'll be below that, but you shoot for high and aim for low, you know. And then the paving was about 600, and with what we've got in order and got everything, and it's falling in where it needs to be pretty quick, we're gonna be way less than that on triple layer chip seal. And one thing with chip seal is we can do as many layers as we want to with a routine maintenance schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to do that, yeah. And another thought why we want to go this way is all of our water lines, all of Leisure Valley, and other lines are in Vista Drive. If there's ever a water line break, we're gonna have to dig up the $600,000 asphalt to repair the water line. Every time there's a property bought, and we have to do a meter pit, if it's asphalt, we have to cut through the asphalt. It's hard to replace the patch, just a section of asphalt. You're not gonna get a company to come in here. We have to go to Avail or whatever and get a truckload of asphalt to put back, but you never get that.
No, it's always good.
It's always gonna be that way, yes. So, as me and Trevor talking and everything, and to cut the cost on all that, to do what was in the budget, 4 and 5, to finish chip sealing that out, to do, plat 21, to finish that out, and do this, we're gonna be way under what we had, you know, for budget. So we can take that money and do other roads, you know.
Okay, all that sounds good. And, you know, don't even know if these guys have any questions. And the way I run the meeting, I treat our liaison as an active member. She asks questions, participate, as a regular member. So if they want to ask, just
Yep, that's fine.
ask. But what I'm curious about, we've tried chip sealing in the past. And I know the road I live on is one of them, and it's now one of the worst roads that I drive on. I don't complain about it. Well, I do, but I keep it inside voice.
Yeah.
But I would rather they had not ever chip sealed it.
Yep.
As I understand it, that's part of the idea behind getting the tar spreader, so that you guys can do the regular maintenance, because the road has never been maintained afterward.
That's part of it. There's never been a routine maintenance on the chip seal roads. That's chip seal, you've got to have a routine maintenance. That's another thing with our I'm trying to think of the name of our road. Where they come? Mine just went blank. Excuse me. Is we have they did a water thing, they did a road study. That's what we did, road study. The town has just got everything signed today to do, it's called iWorks Public Works. They are getting ready to come in here with a vehicle that videos the whole, every road on the ranch. Then they come back and say, this is what we see. This is what we suggested to do. We don't know a lot of it, but it will be the setup. I mean, it's a 5-year maintenance plan on chip seal. Well, if a road, it might need to be quicker than that. So that's, instead of us having to go to the council and ask for the money or put it in the budget for next year, if we have the material and equipment here, we can do a maintenance level anytime we want to, you know, and get more roads done. It's, I think, was a 40-year, Jens heard this, 40 years to do.
About 44 years.
44 years to pave everything on the range.
Yeah, that was the
At the rate
initial.
we're going, Yeah, we can cut that in half, on the chip seal, and thing about it is when we start doing chip seal like with Vista, that's gonna be our base layer is gonna be 3 each. We're gonna do 3 layers of chip seal. Then, we're gonna look at it next year and see, and then we'll look at it the next year and see, and if we need places to take care of, we can do it. 20 is another one that needs it bad. It's been on schedule, I think, for the last couple of years, since I've been here. It's never got done, because it's always been put off for something else. One thing is when we do this contract, it's the trucking kills the time, trucking. That, a lot of the bids that we put out is trucking. They're charging 150, 160, 170 an hour for trucks. And if that machine ain't loading them, we're still getting paid for it, and we're still having to pay for it, you know? So that's the biggest thing is, where I come from, I'm 34 years of building roads. I've run equipment, maintenance and management. I've been on multi-million-dollar jobs. I was at 9/11 on that, you know, when all that happened. I like to keep everything in-house that we can. If you're gonna have a pot of money, if you start sending it out, then stuff gets missed. And that's what's happened here the last several years. Stuff gets missed, or it gets put to the back burner. And if we ain't careful, and we don't get caught up, we never will, because we're getting further back behind every day on the roads.
We're actually losing ground.
Yeah.
Zach, I don't want you to take this as a criticism, but that's been my biggest concern, for longer than I've been involved in, working with the town government, is that, it doesn't seem like we have a regular maintenance schedule. And it extends to other things. I'm not just talking about roads.
Yep.
So that's kind of my next question. Don't take this wrong, you may not be here 2 years from now.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
Yep.
So how are we building the system so that we have a regular maintenance schedule in place?
You gotta start somewhere.
I agree.
If I can answer that,
Sure.
just today, the Public Works one, it has a maintenance schedule built in there and also has, there's a lot of stuff there, but that's what we're gonna base it on is Public Works one will have, we just chip sealed it this year and we put in, we're gonna check it this year, that year, whatever. But we gotta maintain employees to make sure that happens. So, that's my job to work on, is to keep these guys here. It was pretty big amount of turmoil when I got here, having to go through the employees that I didn't feel we could trust. Now we have people that we can trust and we gotta keep them here. If everybody leaves and we can't maintain them, then we're gonna have that problem. We can log in the computer, but we do have to have people that can run the equipment and do the job, so.
I got a question about the chip seal.
Yep.
What timeline are you looking at to finish? You said Vista's gonna be first to do that?
Yep. Yep.
What's the timeline to get that done?
Well, I put, as dirt work, I did 2 weeks. It won't take us 2 weeks.
So that starts Monday.
Yeah, that starts Monday. You know, we start moving stuff, the road starts getting, closure starts Monday morning, 7 o'clock. We'll start digging. We're gonna let the machine dig a section, maybe from Vista East, and Vista Drive intersection. We're gonna have that closed off for a little while, and we'll move down to maybe like before Solitude. Then we'll finish that section with the dirt work. Then we'll open that up to traffic, so they can go around the Vistas. Then we'll just keep moving down the line. Then once all that's done, I'll have trucks going out, start stockpiling chips for the chip seal. As soon as that's done, there'll be a few days in
For
between.
chip seal, they're just gonna put gravel, wash gravel out and then oil it? Is that what they do?
You put a layer of tack down, it's tar.
Yeah.
You put it down, then you do 1/2 inch, 3/8 chips, you roll it in, you come back, throw another layer on of tar. Do the same thing, build 3 layers up, is that way. You know, then that'd be your base layer there. I just got finished getting the numbers for, plot 21, or plat 21. I went down and got the footage and everything on it, and got the numbers on it. We're gonna be well below the budget on that. The rest doing it.
My concern is the start to finish is gonna be, what, a month?
Could be, but we don't know what bombs is in the ground. You know, you lived here, you know what Bonds is around.
That's
I mean,
gonna force traffic on the Vista West, so.
yeah, Vista East and Vista West will be there for a few days. But the thing about it is, that will be at the beginning, and then once we move on down, then they can come out Vista West or Vista East, go out, go around Solitude, go around, Alpine Way, go out that way, then when we get on down to where Walnut is, then they'll circle around Walnut, you know.
But the road's not gonna be shut down for a month.
No.
It's gonna be shut down for 3-4 days, next week, with parts of it open to do the excavation and the dirt work there.
So you're gonna excavate, are you gonna backfill with the 24 inches of road as you tear it up? Or are you going to,
We're gonna let the machine get ahead of us, because we got, 7 trucks with traffic and all that. That's why we have to shut the road down, because you're gonna have 7 dump trucks from there to there. It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be fast as the machine can swing. I got a 325 cat, that thing is huge. But the thing about it is, it's 24 inches. He's going to move fast as he can load, you know. But you didn't want to get something that, because them trucks sitting there is costing money, you know.
But ultimately, yes, we're gonna do it all in one process.
Yep.
The rock is down in the shop, we stockpiled that in the last couple of weeks, so the rock is ready to go. As we excavate, get a little ahead, then we'll roll it down.
how much rock do we anticipate losing between now and when you're ready to chip seal next year?
We're not chip
Oh,
sealing
no, it's this year.
Oh, you're gonna chip
Yes.
seal this year?
Yeah.
Oh, then I misheard last night. I
Yeah.
thought you guys said you were
No.
gonna do that next year.
That
That was the original plan, was to put this out for bid in November for a company to do that. And we took half the cost off doing the dirt work, now we're taking half the cost off of that doing the chip seal ourselves, and that includes purchasing equipment.
and that was when me and Trevor talked about this, is, we do all that work, put the money in doing the road, then let it sit through the winter, and we're gonna lose it by plowing. Then we're gonna go in and reset it up, that's more rock and everything, and then we're gonna have to wait till it gets real dry. No, we shouldn't be.
Yeah,
So that's-
that was why I asked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was-
So we get to chip seal. I'm aware that the major part of our plumbing for the town and for Leisure Valley and whatnot comes down Vista. So Leisure Valley has a problem next year, and they gotta dig up Vista. Who's paying for the repairing the road? Is that something the town's gonna pay for, or are we gonna make Leisure Valley pay for it?
So here's the thing about those types of agreements and contracts, they're supposed to be liable for the cost or whatever repairing that. They've got to restore it to our specs, but when you actually collect on it, we're in an issue right now with a private entity, not Silver Star, somebody else, where these things go to court, so, but ultimately, ideally, that's how it's gonna work, but does it always play out that way, I can't tell you.
It's different if it's just a break, that, you know, things happen. But if it's neglect on their end, yes, we would do, it would be time and material. That's what, with Trevor, what he's talking about, and then there'll be a bill sent to him, and then it goes from there. But if it's just, I mean, that's the same way with our stuff, we could have a break ourselves, you know. It's all new line in there, same way, we don't know what's gonna happen, you know?
I get that,
Yeah,
I'd have the same question if we were paving it.
yeah,
It still comes down to the same thing, we've gotta put the road back the way it was.
yeah,
When it's our stuff, it's obviously our fault.
Yeah.
Whether it's a fault or not, it's our responsibility, but when it's somebody else's stuff, that's not, necessarily our responsibility unless we did something that caused it. And in the past, I have seen far too often we tear up a road, not necessarily us, but somebody, a contractor comes in here, tears up a road or a section of the road, and that road is never fixed. It works great right after they refill it and tamp it down, and then first time we get rain, you got jarring, ditches in the road. And they only get worse as it rains and snows more. So I'm all for getting the roads paved. That's one of the reasons we established this board. But one of the long-term considerations I have is for how we are going to recoup the expenses of maintaining it. Because maintaining chip seal or tar, or a asphalt road is still gonna cost the town. But when somebody else tears it up, you know,
And,
they should, I break my neighbor's window, I should fix it.
yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too, I've been a director right now a year, and I run the blade for a couple of years before that for the town here. And you know, somebody would tire something up, there was nobody ever standing there to make sure they did it right. It was, I fixed it and that was it. And then it's like you're talking about. That's the thing. It's gonna be, if somebody tires the road, same way with a veil, with what they've done. There's an inspector there to make sure it's put back the way it's supposed to be. You know, with Forster, you know, with Ernie. He makes sure it's put back the way it's supposed to be. That's the way I plan to try to go forward with this.
Okay.
Is have me there, or have one of my top guys there to make sure it's put back. That's why I wanna do a lot of the roads ourselves, because I know it's gonna be put in, the subgrade's gonna be put in correct. I mean, some of the guys that works for the town has got 25 plus years of road building, if they've done it. I mean, you know, some of my top guys, same as me. So that's, I wanna have a say-so in what happens.
Don't take it wrong, I'm not
No.
challenging you.
No,
I'm
and
just,
I'm not trying to talk.
I don't want you to be defensive, because
No.
this isn't a challenge. These are some of the concerns, and I'm sure the other members have, if they don't have them themselves, they've heard them, that I hear from people who live here, that, okay, great if they do it, but we haven't seen the kind of maintenance that we need to see, even on the least expensive road, the dirt roads.
Yeah.
So as we spend more and more money on getting paving, which almost everybody in the town wants, they're also concerned how we're gonna maintain it. So that's why I asked,
Yeah.
if we're gonna have a regular maintenance schedule.
Yep.
Because while you're doing chip seal, you're still gonna have roads that are dirt. So you're gonna have two maintenance plans.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to dust guard on those dirt roads that you no longer have to dust guard on the chip seal roads. But you're gonna have to look at the chip seal to see if you're developing problems that are gonna require another coat of tar, some more rock, whatever.
Yep.
So,
That's the plan, is have the crew in front, keeping the roads going, you know, keeping them dust guarded, you know, this, that, and the other. But as they're doing that, they're gonna be setting up the next roads that we chip seal. Then the chip seal crew will come right in and chip seal right behind them, then that puts the blade to go on something else. Right now, I don't know if you've ever heard of the company Dustbusters, that does the mag, that we buy mag from. They just sold out to a company out of Montana, South Dakota. Mag has doubled in cost. For every time our mag truck rolls out, it's $2,000. That's 2,000 gallons. And I'm just gonna take Hardman, that's 3 runs, that's 6,000 gallons. And it takes them I can call them today, it takes a week for them to get here. We got the other tank that we're getting ready to work on. We're fixing to be able to hold 12,000 gallons. That's 12 loads.
so we can't even mag the road ourselves.
Yeah, we can, yeah, but that's what I'm getting at is tar is cheaper than mag. Mag, I have to mag 2 or 3 times a year. Chip seal, we do it one time, then it goes on a maintenance schedule. We don't have to mag it anymore.
Okay.
And mag, I don't know if you know about mag, you can go look this up. Mag works with moisture. Mag pulls moisture out of the ground to keep the dust down. We have no moisture.
Right.
So mag is useless right now. I can go spray it, it looks sticky and all that, but it's drawing no moisture. So if you ever noticed, when we was doing it, we would spray the roads with water, then we would mag it to make it go a little longer. we just put out 8 loads when we had our blade out, 8 loads. You can't even tell we done it. Vista, we magged 3 times, $6,000 for mag right here. It's a dust bowl, because there's no moisture to pull out of the ground. That's why I like to see a little rain occasionally, which we all do. But that's what activates mag. You know, now, about our heavy rain, it washes the mag out, because the mag can't soak in our ground, in our roads, because they're so hard. So mag is a catch-21. It helps, and then it hurts. Or is like as a pocketbook, you know. I've got 2 loads of mag, which we're going to be using on Vista when we start. I got two loads. I got 12, little over 12,000 gallons for that. That was $16,000 for 2 loads of mag. And now I go take that out, put it on the roads. I want to get around Vista, Vista East and Vista West. I won't be able to get all the way around it to get it put on correctly. In 2 weeks, it's going to be a dust bowl, because there's no moisture to pull out of the ground to activate it. That's why trying with the chip seal. But yeah, we're still going to run some mag out, but it's going to have to get, because that's just, and it ain't going to go no cheaper. It'll go higher and higher and higher.
Right.
Because I call this week and they've bumped it another 50 cents on a gallon, you know.
I'm also curious, are we going to do anything to improve drainage?
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of the chip seal stuff. We got this year a plan, as we do try to go up down Vista, is do some drainage ditches much as we can. The problem we have here is I can put you water in a ditch, but where am I going to turn it out at? Somebody's property, and what's going to happen there. So it's going to be a pick and choose where we can turn the ditch out to drain the water. We can do check dams and slow it down, but then we got to keep the check dams cleaned out. And a lot of our roads here ain't crammed. Or
Yeah.
back where I come from, we call them Tater Ridge. Water sits flat in the road. It's got to have the 3% where it'll drain off. But that's like, I mean, up north, up through there, Aspen way, I believe, Aspen. I can go all the way down there in the ditch. I have nowhere to turn the water out. And it comes right across Dogwood and all that. And that's where all that rock is, and we have to put rock right back. I can turn it on the other side of the road, but then that means I've got to put pipe it across the road. And then I turn it into a lot that might sell next year, and then where do I go from there? So that's the biggest thing, is when we turn our water on somebody else, we're reliable for it.
Right.
The tank. That's the biggest thing when this ranch was built. Of course, it was never built to be a wintertime place to stay. So there was never no drainage thought about anything. You know, so that's one of the biggest hurdles we have, is where am I gonna turn the water? You know, because the faster it goes, the more it cuts the ditches. But I have to run it so far to even get rid of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have any questions?
Tell you what, just about everything that you're saying makes sense to me.
Yep.
One thing that I got hung up on was trucking prices.
Yep.
Where are you finding trucks for 155?
But I tell you what, I've got them, the ones where I'm bringing in next week, we're at 120, because I
Okay.
negotiated. But if
Okay.
you get a contractor, they're gonna put the price they want on it.
Right,
I
okay,
mean, I've
120, that sounds better to me.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we charge 135, why am I not charging 155?
Excuse me, I don't wanna bring the name of the company out, but I was quoted by a company that's doing some work for us now. They was at $225 an hour for their trucks.
Okay.
And
They used to go by the ton mile, what happened to that?
by the hour now.
Well, it is by the ton, by the hour. If you
Yeah.
can haul 13 ton, typically you can do 135 an hour right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's probably right in that range,
Yeah.
for ton mile.
And then you run into where, again, you've got contractors out there that we're charged for 10 hours for contract labor, but they brought in 4 loads.
Yeah, I'll just say that the way the town was doing stuff in the past probably, well, it didn't meet best practices, and some of the people getting the contracts could charge what they wanted, and no
Right.
one's watching that kind of stuff, but things have changed a little bit here, so,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
that sounds better. When you said that before, I was like, man, we're
Yeah,
kind of getting hosed there.
yeah, yeah, it's, we've come, it's 155 different stuff, but I've gone down to 120, 130 for for the trucks, and good reputable company, and when they bill us for 10 hours, they brought in 12, 13 loads, you know, and
Where they bringing loads from?
out of, because Avail ain't making no, road base right now because of the project, so we're getting it out of, I think what's called Cedar Pit, across the road, across 89 down here, yeah.
Okay.
But there is a new, quarry fixing to start up on the Bedford Beach. Toby Meyer is just opening that up, and he'll be full bore with everything. So, yeah, he's really cut us a very good deal on a rock for next year, very. And like I said, we're using some of his trucks now, some of his dump trucks, because he cuts us such a good deal, you know. And as he runs his company, he's honest, you know. And he said, I'll tell you, if one of my trucks fall out of the lineup, I'll let you know, and we'll shut the time off on it. And he's been to his word ever since we've been dealing with him as a town. So, and that's who I like to work with, you know. I don't care to pay a man, I don't care to pay a company, but they're gonna give me a full day's work, because I represent the town. It ain't my money, it's the town's money, but I represent them when I make these negotiations and these deals, and I try to get the best I can for the town, you know.
Have you got any questions?
Well, appreciate what you're doing.
Try. I don't mean to interrupt, my biggest thing is if you mention it and I get a chance to answer it, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but the next person that gets my seat is gonna get a lot better than what was handed to me.
You know-
And that's the way I look at it.
Zach, and I hope everyone who succeeds you
Yep,
has that same attitude.
yep,
I don't ask that question, I don't bring up that point
yep,
to pick on you.
yep,
Trust me, I used to ask wardens at state prisons the same thing when they tell me, you have my word. Yeah, but you might die tomorrow and your word goes with you.
Yeah.
Put it in writing, show me the work,
yep,
and I'm fine. And I take that attitude about everything. You can be as sincere as possible in what you tell us you're gonna do.
Yep.
But if you go away, and, you know, I hope somebody offers you a better paying job in a place you wanna live more than you wanna live around here someday.
Whoa.
But, you know, I want everybody to be as successful as they can be.
yep.
But I don't wanna be left in the lurch just because you suffer an advantage. So, that's why I look at it that way. Kirsten, you have any?
I just had a question about the 3 inches. Is it always gonna be 3 inches, or do we have other roads that might need more or less?
Well, no, that's gonna be our base layer to start at, and then that will go on the maintenance routine, and it will get more as it needs, you know.
And do they need like 3 inches every time if you do?
No,
okay.
a lot of, some of our roads here, you mentioned a while ago, one is Cedar Crest. When the water project come through there, me and Trevor went out there, because they told us to come up and look at the center of it, the sides. Because, again, there was no inspector saying, you're gonna do this correct, you're gonna do it right. So I was here when they done that. It was 2 zips and out the door, they was done. And they finished that in one day, and that contract, I can't remember what that was, it was 100 and some thousand, or whatever that was, one day. I mean, that's what we're saying, we're keeping these companies fat and sassy from the town's dollar. That's what was happening. You know, I'm not saying everybody,
Right.
but I like for a company, or whoever we deal with, to be not a fly-by-night company. Because at the end of the day, they can take our money and leave, we're having to deal with it as public works. So I like to have a say-so in what goes on, or we as a town, or we as a committee, have a say-so in what happens here.
Well, that's been, you're articulating a big part of what the history has been. And public perception isn't gonna be based on what we expect in the future, it's gonna be based on what they've experienced in the past. So, if we're gonna change that perspective, and believe me, I have already seen improvement. But if we're gonna change that perspective, we have to be able to deliver. So I'd like to echo that I appreciate what you're doing. I hope it gets even better as we go, and that's not a criticism.
No.
That's a sincere hope. I really want everything to get better. I do have another question that's a little off topic, and if Trevor wants to shut me down, I'll let him. But I have proposed to the town that we combine the, road advisory board and the water board. And I would like your opinion about whether or not you think that would be efficient.
Well,
And I'm asking you a question in front of your boss. If he doesn't want you to answer it, it's fine with me.
I trust Zach completely, I'm gonna back whatever the mayor wants to do on this, and I don't know
I
what
get
it
you.
is yet, but,
That's why I'm not asking you.
yeah, I'll answer anything you want, but I have complete faith in
Yeah.
Zach's opinion is carries a lot of weight with me,
yeah,
so.
I don't dodge no question, so don't worry, you can ask me anything, I don't take offense to nothing. I've been at this way too long. This is pretty cool, this is laid back. I've been in front of Senate and Congress doing stuff with the forestry. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, I like this, but we can talk.
Me
We
too.
can, giggle around. Usually the first thing after the top 5 minutes that I talk, somebody's like, where are you from? We can understand the thing you say.
Yeah.
I didn't get that here, so I appreciate that. Because, I mean, that's me, I'm Appalachian. It would be, it's whatever they want to do on that. It would be good if we could put it under an umbrella in a way. It's got its pros and cons. But the biggest thing is you gotta have one person that can control. When you go in, if it's getting, as the time gets to where we start talking about water, we don't need to talk about roads.
Right.
If we're on roads, if we're on chip sealing, plot so-and-so, we don't need to bring the water in on it. It can come together, but everything's got its time, you know. When we just first started the roads thing here, I come a couple of times when you first got started, and I had some things about, there's grants for MAG out there, there's grants for some water, I mean, not water, but roads, but they're hard to get, but there was some out there. I've been to several classes, as a director, as grants for roads. That's the hardest thing, I just said that, to find, but they are out there. And I found one back earlier, I don't know if it's still going now, but it was, urban, and it was through the, tribals. And I said, well, okay, all that was is a company would have to be, that would do the money, would be like, they could do a little something or other. They would put money in for the roads, but they could do something, signs or whatever, it would have to be some tribal people, you know. But it would be money for da-da-da-da-da, but something would have to be set out for them. And what it was is for the youth tribal to go do, like, I was just thinking, okay, signs. I can get some new signs, but some of our signs is getting faded, da-da-da-da-da. That could fall into that, but we still get another lump sum here to do something else, you know. They're all out there for water, we know that. But that's the biggest thing is what we're trying to do now. We're trying to get the most footage done with what lump sum of money we have. The more money we have, for road grants or whatever, we can do more. But that's, I didn't mean to get off
You're
track.
fine.
But that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't have either way. I mean, I've been to a couple of water board meetings, you know, and like I said, this is my first road board meeting. And I mean, to answer your question, I'd be fine to come whenever you needed me or whatever. I'm open book. I don't hide nothing. I mean, I can sit there, I can talk you to death right now, it don't make no difference to me. I can talk between 1 or 1 million people. I've got a gift of the gab. I mean, I can talk. I don't care to let anybody know what I've got, what we've got as a town. I shouldn't say me, because it's a we as a town, you know. And I appreciate any feedback or whatever, or any ideas. It ain't a my way, it's a we way. And if you want to understand that, it's whatever, you know, it works. As long as it's feasible for the town and we have progress. Yeah.
Zach, I'll tell you, I got involved because I was interested in trying to find alternative funding.
Yep.
I'm not a grants person. My funding has always come from going and lobbying.
Yeah.
But what I do understand, no matter who you go to ask money from, you've gotta have a plan going forward.
Yep.
If I just go in and tell them I want $1 million to build a road, they're gonna have more questions than we've got answers. So one of the things that we need, if we're gonna help secure funding, and that's, the mayor, both mayors have asked us
Yep.
to look at that, is we've gotta see a plan projected out for the future, so that we can say, hey, we wanna do this to these 4 roads. We think it's gonna cost, and, you know, we'll have the estimates from the engineer, or whatever, X amount of dollars. But if we can't go to them, to, whether it's the county, the state, the federal government, or somebody issuing grants, if we can't go to them with even better than that, we're not gonna see 5 cents.
Nope, will not.
So, and it doesn't matter what we're asking for.
Yep.
We won't get it. So and that's one of the reasons I wanted to start getting people from Public Works here, so that we can build the kind of relationship that we need to build.
Yep.
So that we can ask you what your plans are and get them. Not so that we can tear them apart and go behind your back to your boss or the mayor and say, hey, you know what, he wants to do this, well, that's dumb, we gotta go over here and do it. But so that we can work with you
Yep.
and help the council secure you the money you need to get the job done.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that if we think your plan is dumb, we won't tell you that. We will, but before we do, we're gonna be able to justify it. And I'm gonna rely on other people to do that, because if you haven't figured it out already, I don't know anything about building a road. So, but that's kind of the vision for what this advisory board can do.
Yeah.
And in order for us to do it, we've gotta have a two-way back and forth. Like I said at the beginning, we don't wanna be your boss.
Yep.
I don't get paid, I know they get paid less. And he's not gonna give me any money to make that worth my while, so I don't want it.
Yep. Well, first of all, you know, starting this maintenance plan, and and this is the way I did it before, and it's, first of all, is starting a maintenance plan, you gotta start out with Public Works. You gotta start out with equipment. You first of all gotta have a maintenance plan on your equipment.
Right.
That's already in order, we've got that. So, this is steps going up a ladder. You gotta start at the bottom. We get this done, we're in a process of getting it, we got the equipment, then that falls in, you gotta have the manpower to run the equipment. That's another step. And then you go in and start looking, like we're talking about roads. Okay, this is what we've got. I've rode every road, I know we all live here, the roads are awful. Okay, what do we start at first? I would like to do them all at one time. I'm a doer, I'm not a sayer. I'll kill you with kindness and fill your truck full of paperwork, because I can do that. I'm a numbers guy and a building guy. I guess that's one of my glitches. Because I worry, when I leave here, I don't forget the ranch. Trevor knows, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going numbers. That's me, that's how I operate. I've done it for 50 years, as far as I can remember. 50-year-old, as long as I remember, is I worry. I come in on weekends. It don't cost the town no more, because they're already paying me for what I do, to do. So I come in, I do stuff on weekends here. I'm in here with water, I'm in here, whatever, whatever it is, I come in. I go to conferences and I go to different places for roads and water, stuff like that. Because when I quit learning about this ranch is when they get rid of me, or I'll be lucky enough to retire. That's what I am. So, yeah, the maintenance plan has started, it's on its way. But like I said, with the chip seal, that gets us another step up. And then, like, we're already looking at 21, we're looking at 4 and 5. 20 is gonna come up. Hillside, that's terrible, Hillside is. Around the loop there. That's another road right there. Ridgecrest, we know that's gonna be another dig. We're gonna have to dig, because it's clay. It's chip seal over clay. Again, there was nobody there to watch when they done that back in the day. you know? So that's on the maintenance thing. So yeah, it's in order, it's working. Now first, putting it on paper, I can get all my sticky notes together, and I've got one, but I gotta get it all in one page. But yeah, it's continuously going every day.
At some point, we're gonna need to do that, cause I can't take sticky notes to the county.
I understand that.
But as far as.
But
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
No.
I'm not trying to push you there.
No.
I just want you to know
Yep.
where I see the road board going.
yep,
So,
And as far as what we're gonna pay, we have a 2018 study that we never got to, apparently as a town, and let's just do that, not be subjective, and let's just follow that plan, so.
yeah.
If you notice, I live on Brambleberry, so my first week, I was here 2 days, I went to Pinedale to a conference the next few days. The next Monday, they were paving my road, and everyone's saying, that guy's already corrupt, he's already paved his own road. Had nothing to do with any of that, but we're gonna follow the plan, and that takes all the rest of us out of.
see, we got, when the board got established, we got the 2010 road study. We haven't seen the 2018.
Okay.
So it might be,
I thought it was on the website, but maybe not, but.
if it is, I haven't seen it. That doesn't mean, I don't go to the website that often, because my experiences with it haven't been all that great.
Gotcha.
I understand that's improving. But I would like to get copies of the 2018 study so that we have it. Doesn't do any good if we're advising you based on a 2010 plan when you're already 8 years beyond.
Sure.
And,
The only change that could be, I mean, if the council wants to do something different, they have the authority to do that. I'm gonna get it done guy, they say, here's our plan, here's some money, go do that.
Yeah.
Right?
And I know a couple of years ago, you remember when they had the counters out? Each road had a
Yep.
counter. And that's on the website, I think. If not, it's in that, of how much traffic was on each road on the whole ranch. I still have those numbers. We had to take pictures every time we would turn them in to Ryan, our engineer. Then that showed you the most traffic roads, which we know Vista was top. And at the time, I lived on the ranch, I lived on Alta. And I'm thinking, oh man, yeah, it was like 7 or 8 down the list. And so, you know, I was like, wow, man, because they're gonna be more than that. But some of the roads you think would be way up was not. And the ones that you didn't think was high would rank real high. And that was an eye opener for me, because I'll be the ones that have to go do the counters and move everything around to do
Well,
that.
That's kind of what I was getting at. At least half of the traffic that goes up Vista right now is gonna be going up Vista West.
Yep.
By the time that you got the road.
Yep,
right.
yep,
And it's already pretty crowded over there.
yeah. Vista West, we've done multiple talks, we're looking at some stuff now on Vista West. Like I said, with the swale, getting it took out right there.
But my concern is
Yeah.
during that time of construction, we're gonna have a boatload of traffic and it's already dusty. It
Yeah.
just gets worse and worse. Like you said, it gets worse.
Yeah, well, like I said, with the stockpile of the rock here, is Vista West will be closed down here, because we're gonna have to take the whole road. So it's gonna be going around Vista East back. And like I said, with all the material right here, that ain't gonna be just a few days, you know? That will come up.
Well, just in anticipation of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
is there some
Yeah.
thought process as to how?
And as bad as it's to say is, to get progress, you're gonna have to interrupt a few people's daily life.
You
know,
can
and-
also direct traffic, once you get that intersection at Vista East and Vista done, up Vista and over,
Yep,
so that they either come down Hardman Cedar,
yep,
which has paving on it,
yep.
or all the way out.
It's something, like I said, I've been here 3 years, and people's lived here for way more than I've been here. They know one way home.
Yeah, true.
When we was taking the old hard top out, we had Vista closed back last year. I had a man said, I've lived here 12 years and I went one way. I don't know how to get around Vista West. I've always been up Vista East.
Yeah,
We have that.
throughout the water project here on Vista, people were driving through yards, they were stealing cones, I mean, it's a nightmare. We'll do the best we can, but no, we don't have a specific plan that's gonna solve it, you know. It briefs well, it looks well on paper, and then when you get out there, it's like, wow, we didn't think people would do that, so. But It's gonna be uncomfortable for some of us for a few days.
There's you some dust control falling out there right now.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Hopefully, as the project progresses and gets to completion, there will be enough appreciation for it that it will offset some of the anger and dissatisfaction of actually having to build it. I get that when you go to redo something, it's uncomfortable for the people that already have to put up with it. You know, it might have been nice if they'd have known this was gonna happen 2 months ago and they could plan a vacation to the glacier or something. But since we're where we are, when we're there,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to learn to deal with that.
And I encourage all of you, you all live here, speaking with Trevor, like I live up in Bedford now, so, but when you talk to your neighbors and your friends, invite them next week to come out and just take a minute to watch what the Public Works is doing. The town has got a drone now, we're gonna drone footage, gonna try to do some of the drone footage so we can put it on the website,
cool.
some of the pictures of where our Public Works has come from what it used to be. I mean, yeah, Trevor's worked tirelessly to get the guys that we've got, you know, because technically, I can make anything, any project on this ranch look pretty on paper, but it's a Public Works, the guys that's gonna do it. And I'll say, we're blessed to have a group that does not take the word, we can't do it. My biggest thing is, I don't wanna load their wagon with too much work. They're coming to me like, where's the next project? What's the next we do? Because not only that, they take pride in their work, and that's what's been needed here for a long time, is people that takes pride in their work. They can leave at the end of the day and say, I give the town 10 hours, and I got paid for 10 hours, I give them 10 plus, probably more than that. Because there's guys there that, they go way above and beyond. And we've got scale of 28 years of construction work. We got a couple of young guys, but they're falling in and there's no cracks. And that's what's good, that everybody's hungry, will learn, the young guys that wants to learn, and we've got guys that it's going into water now. I mean, I'm with this road board, but they're wanting to get their water license to help. Because they know the ranch is growing. We put in 23, 24 meter pits this year, not counting the 4 that we did that we never got to last year. So, yeah, the ranch, and that's new builds, and we're supposed to be, I think, altogether 28. So the ranch is growing, and that means more work, that means more roads, to get done, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've got to get us moving to other parts of the agenda. I want to thank you for your time and candor. One thing I'll say before you go, what you just brought up is one of the reasons I'd like to combine the 2 boards. Water almost always affects a road. Almost always. And if we're planning something, working with you on something, and water is doing something else we don't know anything about, it makes it hard for us. Sometimes roads affect water, and that's the same issue. The one thing that's always affected by roads and water is you. Imagine if we told you your water guys can't ever work on a road, or your road guys can't ever work on water. Then that means your water guys have to dig the ditch. When they might be put to better use doing something else while we've got somebody who can dig a ditch digging it.
That's coming from a union boss.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the idea behind it, is greater efficiency, plus you've got one entity to deal with and one meeting to go to when we ask you to come to a meeting. But like I say, I've got to get on to other agenda items, and I'm already over scheduled. Thank you. I don't know when we're gonna ask to have you come back. If you don't hear from us for a while, that doesn't mean we didn't appreciate you. It just means we're not there yet.
And it might be that I can sit in the back, that's what I usually do.
If you ever-
I mean, yeah.
I'm hoping that our schedule's gonna be posted accurately every time on the website. You ever wanna come to a meeting, for as long as I'm chairman, and that's one of the next issues we're gonna deal with, you are more than welcome. I will never turn away the public, even if they aren't from here, and I won't ever turn away a town worker.
I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate the talk, and I look forward to big and brighter things, you know? But we're about as big as we can get right now. We're full bore right now. We're all cylinders are hitting, so I'll, if it's finished for me, I can step out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Done with me too.
Oh, no, Trevor, we got,
Trying to slide out.
no, I think we're good for now, unless you guys have anything else for Trevor?
Can I just show you, what's that?
Did you have anything for us?
Mr. Staley gave me a grant that deals with dust guard,
Oh,
and I just wanted to share that with you guys, if that's okay.
Sure.
I will get to it. I've been a little bit busy lately, and I haven't had time to look at this, but it's something I'll try to get to, but if any, you know, more eyes we have looking at it. Grants are
I
really
think
tricky.
Kirsten, I gave you that remember last year, and we didn't have time actually to get in on it because there's a lot of requirements.
well, is this the same one through the railroad?
No,
Oh, okay.
So I haven't had time to look at it. We did have a couple last year that did not apply, that one was only for county, one was for mine. Initially, you look at them and think, oh, well, this applies, and you get the details like that, never mind. So, but can I show you how to turn this off when you're done? Is that okay?
Just have a great day, you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Again, it's always a pleasure to see you.
I think all you have to do is stop streaming and stop.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then turn it off.
Turned it off. Okay, awesome.
If you have any problems, just call.
Yeah, I'll let you know, but yeah, we should be good.
Kirsten, you have a good evening.
Oh, thanks so much, Zach. Take care, honey. Have a good weekend.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks,
thank you, Trevor.
Have a good weekend too.
See ya.
Okay, I think the next item on the agenda is choosing a new chairman. I have been filling that role by default, since Trevi left. She was our prior chairman, and I don't think either of you, dealt with her as the chairperson.
I met her. Yeah.
I'm kinda angry with her because she left. That's my issue. I'll be very candid. I really don't want to be chairman. But at the same time, I don't know that either of you want to be chairman either. If you do, great. If not, I'm willing to accept the role, at least for the time being. I would like to grow the board. And as you are aware, I would like to combine this with the water board, and I would be more than willing to step down if we get that combination done, step back from being chairperson and letting the water board chair what would be, what I proposed, a public works board. That's not a campaign speech that I'm making, because like I said, I really don't want to be chairman, but we've got to have one.
Yeah.
So if neither of you two want the job, I will do it.
No thanks.
That almost sounds like a ringing endorsement.
Sounds fun.
No, I'm,
Okay, keep in mind,
Yeah.
I quit, somebody else
so
has
are
to
you
become
here
chair.
year round on the ranch?
I am.
And I'm not, so that's
It
part of
really doesn't matter because we have Zoom.
Yeah.
So,
You're good.
but, one of the other things I want to do at some point is cut down the number of meetings, and this is even if we combine the road and water board into a public works. But before I get into that, let's deal with the issue of choosing a chairman. I'm not going to nominate myself, so one of you is going to have to do it.
I will nominate Marty to be the chairman.
And I'm going to need a second.
I second that.
And I'm going to abstain, but all in favor?
Aye.
And I've abstained. So I guess I'm chairperson. We'll see if we
Thank
can
you, Marty.
change that at some point in the near future.
Once you get all the kinks worked out of this, then I'll jump right in.
Well, it's not that I haven't done it before,
Yeah,
but I'm old.
and I'm old.
You're not old enough. And I'm tired of it. I did it for a long time. I did it even when I didn't have the job. And as Kirsten knows, I really just, it's like I said at the beginning of the meeting, I want to be 5 years old and have mom tell me to go out and play.
You got enough problems with your wife.
Huh?
From what I heard, you got enough problems with your wife telling you what to do.
So, I do. It's not what I would call problems with my wife telling me what to do. It's just,
It's okay. We all have, anybody who
it's
has a
what I
wife
tell
is
my
living the
friends
same thing.
when they complain that their wife told them to do something, I tell them, yeah, I got one of them too.
Yeah.
I'm sure she says the same thing about the husband she has. So it's
I don't know about
fine. We all do what we do. She actually is very supportive of me being involved in community projects. She's trying to give me another one.
Well, I'd like to bring something up about that valid eval. Did you get that? About, and I know that's grants too, and you're probably not interested in grants, but.
Well, I'm not disinterested, I just don't know anything about them.
Yeah,
I know a little bit more about grants than I do about building a road,
yeah. Well, this
so.
was, I think, I don't know, who did it come from? Did it come from
I don't know,
the
this
mayor?
one?
The mayor. No, this was about, it's called valid eval, but what they do is they evaluate your project prior to you going to the
Right.
federal government, whoever it is giving you the grant.
Oh,
And they say, well, you've got to do, you know, this isn't going to pass because this doesn't work or that doesn't work. So they basically
Help you tailor your grant.
get your grant in order before you go before the
And
grant committee.
that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We don't have a plan. Zach tells me he's got one, and I'm not putting him down, but he's got one, he said on sticky notes, that's not a plan.
Yeah.
Even if it is, it's not. We can't do much until we know what they want to do in a more formal way, and we can evaluate it and then do what we're supposed to do, which is provide advice to the council. We're not advising Public Works. We advise the council. And the way that would work is then the council gives Trevor some direction and he tells them what to do. And by the time it gets from us to them, to him, to them, it's 90 degrees different at best from what we gave them. But we can't go anywhere and apply for a grant. We can't go to a county. We can't go to the state. We can't go to anybody and ask for money because we don't have anything to ask for money for. Just saying generally.
Well, that's what this valid
Yeah.
eval does.
Yeah,
Basically tells you, is your project, you know, worth, or does it fit what the grant is designed for or whatever, you know, they do that. But I don't know enough about it, I probably should just,
well,
No, you're-
I mean, I'm assuming we also would have to split the money. I've not heard of the town like suggesting that necessarily, but if we as a group can find certain grants or other forms of money, lobbying or whatever, I think that's what we can suggest. Even if we find a grant, the council has to vote
yeah.
for the application to even go through, or like to be started and stuff. So, so even if we're bringing that forward to the council, it's helpful. As far as evaluating projects, I mean, we do have our engineer doing most of that. And that doesn't always determine if you're gonna get one or not, so I don't know that the council would be pushing for a company to come in and do that. But the road study is, and what Trevor was saying, is what we're going to use to decide which roads are gonna be next for chip seal. But,
But what I've seen so far on that grant money was it's more designed for safety purposes, like and make roads safer, you know, so if you make your roads safer, they can give you money to do that.
Are you
Well,
talking about the TAPR
we
or
can,
this?
we can always claim that we're making our roads safer. For one, it's real, because right now, we've got pretty much the worst roads around. So if we improve them, they're automatically safer.
I hope.
But our biggest problem right now is that we're starting out in a hole. We're not level even with Public Works. Public Works already knows what they kind of want to do and how they kind of want to go forward. And they, so far, this 1 hour in 2 years of being on the road board, this 1 hour is the most feedback we've gotten from Public Works, other than dissolve the board and go away. We've never had a town administrator in the existence of the board until last year. And we haven't really been able to pick his brain on what his overall idea for the town. And the council has been in flux for most of the time that the board has existed. The old mayor didn't want us. She kind of had to eat us, and she tried to get rid of us. The current attitude is, yeah, we can keep them, we can get rid of them. That's how I personally read it. So we're in a hole trying to get level, and we've got to get there before we can really even start looking at how to credibly advise the town on what we think as a board needs to be done and how to achieve the funds to do it. The plan Zach is discussing right now looks like they intend to self-fund, which is fine if we can afford it. But
Well,
if we can get.
that was a budget deal that they
Right.
were trying to fall into that budget.
Right, and if it costs us $600,000 a year to chip seal until we finally, 15, 20 years from now, have every road chip sealed and properly maintained, then we've got a 20-year plan, kinda. But if we have a 20-year plan that we can actually look at as a structure and start parsing it out, in 2027, we're gonna do these 3 roads, or this part of the ranch, we can then take that somewhere and start lobbying for money. And we can do that with some credibility, and we can apply for grants. I don't know how to write one, I don't know any of that, but there are people that can. What I do know is that if we don't have a plan, and we don't have the council's buy-off, and that's not just buy-off from our liaison, we've got to have the council, pretty much got to have the mayor in concurrence.
So the 2023 road study that was done is online.
It is,
Available.
okay, great.
Yeah, and I think if you have a book, it's in the back of the book as well. The 2023 one should be.
I have never seen it,
You haven't seen it in there? Okay.
but I haven't looked for it online. What I have looked for
It is on
is,
the website.
from Public Works, is the snowplow policy.
So that is another thing that we
Yeah, we need to
will
look at.
also be looking at.
Okay, so unfortunately, I got chair, and that's out of the way for now. Do you have an update for,
Well,
For us?
primarily the update would be what we had in our workshop yesterday, which was what Zach and Trevor were explaining as far as having everything chip sealed. And I totally hear you as far as the dust and all of that, but the idea is it would be eliminated a lot quicker once they start Vista. Because once they start Vista, we have 3 other spots that they're supposed to be chip sealing, but then we'll have a lot of money left over just by this summer. And so if they are able to start this and get it done and move on, get those others done, we'll have time to get other roads done. And on a road study, Vista West is much up, but it's higher than Vista East and a lot of roads. And honestly, Vista West probably wasn't gonna get paid for a very long time, because we don't have that kind of money to just start paving. So it'll be worth, I know it's miserable because I live on Mesquite, so I hear you, the dust, but it will be worth it once they get that going and finished, then they can just start moving up that, the list, and Vista West is high on the list, so you will have chip seal before ever it was gonna be paved, so, and less dust. So, that was the main thing that they had talked about last night at our meeting, was having, chip seal down, and hopefully within a decade, 15 years, it'll be complete. But I mean, they'll continue to do maintenance, so that'll still take time and everything. I would say that we have two things that really by the end of, if not summer, at least by like November, that need to be addressed. The snow policy is a big one that the council has requested that we look at. It was updated about almost 2 years ago, or a year, yeah, 2 years ago, but it was more for, it wasn't for what we need as a town, as far as for our citizens, for maintenance, for all of it. So, you know, we'll read it and look over it, but then probably redoing it will be the main thing.
Is there a place on the
And there,
website?
it is
we
on
It
the
is online.
website.
And I would,
And I can,
excuse me, I would advise you right off that when you read it, you look at certain things, I can tell you right now, it doesn't fly. It's, for one, unconstitutional. If I put my driveway snow in your right-of-way, you're responsible for it, according to the roads, to the plow policy. So if I take all my driveway snow and put it where your town easement is, they're gonna fine you for putting stuff, because they assigned you as the property owner the presumption of guilt, and that's actually how it's worded in the,
So is that what needs to be changed?
that's one of the big things that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
It's not enforceable, but do you really wanna go down and argue that with the judge one day because your neighbor's a jerk? You know, I mean, when there's more to it than that. So when you look at it with a critical eye. I got a pretty good education last time and the time before, talking with Keith about how he plows roads. And I've never seen it the way you described it, but I don't think you came in here just to BS me. So I think it probably works, and I'd like to tailor the advice we give the town on their policy to a program like you described. And in a nutshell, what he said was everything is consistency. Consistent start and stop times, you know, as much as you can. Not waiting until you hit a certain level. If you know you're gonna hit a level, you get out there and get it done, so that the neighborhoods know what to expect. So they know, my road's gonna get plowed at 6 a.m. And they can be out there at 6:05 moving their berm before it turns into the Great Wall of China. You know, that kind of thing, and if that works, you're never gonna satisfy 100%, but more of our people are gonna be happy. And if it doesn't, then we look at something else, but he's doing this and seems to be making a living at it, so apparently his customers are happy.
One thing that is important to remember about snow removal is no one's gonna be happy anyway.
True.
Like, it's just the way it is. You gotta get the snow out of the road, and there's really nobody that's an exception. Everybody gets the same amount of snow, basically. And you're never, like, you can do it in the best way you possibly can to make the most people happy, and that's it. And no matter what, like, I had a guy throwing snow back in the road last year with a shovel, and he would just do it every time we plowed. And he was just so mad every single time. And, I mean, he was from Florida.
Well, that explains.
He had a really hard time with it.
So you do that then?
Yes.
You push the.
That's something I do, I have a snow removal
Oh, okay.
outfit.
Well, I talked to the city, 2 years ago or whatever, just, Vista West doesn't have any houses on one side, and they could very easily plow it all to one side of the road,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't do it.
Well, they do have a legitimate answer to that. The fact that they don't have houses there doesn't mean they won't have houses there. So granted, that's a plan for right now, but it's not a plan, because at some point, there's gonna be something. And then they have to make an adjustment to that. Because if you're putting all that road, all that snow over there, they're gonna be twice as mad at you as you are for getting half that snow now. So what we have to have is a snow removal plan that, God, I hate to use this phrase, that works for everybody. And no plan is gonna, like he said, make everybody happy. I've been here 20 years, and I came out here because of winter. Everybody else leaves, I like here. I'd rather be here in the winter. I actually like shoveling snow. And my first several years here, when the association plowed, I never had a berm that was more than this high. And this is after being gone all day and skiing, and the town getting 6, 7, 8 inches of snow while I was gone. And I come back, and I don't have a berm. Here, I clear my driveway, I get rid of a berm, I go have a cup of coffee, and I come back and I've got 3 feet of berm. And it's not fluffy powdery snow, it's solid ice that they put there in less than 30 minutes. That angers me, and I like moving snow.
The more times you move it, the harder it gets. The sooner you move it, the more efficiently you move it the first time, the easier it is for everybody.
And that's what I'm talking about. What he explained, because what I experienced in 3 years in New Jersey was that and this is back in the 70s, that the plow drivers would just angle their blade and take as much of the berm away from the driveway. And they had to do this in suburbs where there's driveway after driveway after driveway. And the only thing you couldn't do was park in the street. But you didn't have a berm when you came out of your driveway. We don't even try to do that here. And I don't know.
I thought they got some kind of a gate system that would allow them to leave that driveway without a berm, and then.
We looked at that, we got a tremendous amount of pushback from Public Works on it, telling us it doesn't work, it's not workable, it won't work on hilly roads, it won't work, because it just puts more snow elsewhere. You can't take them on and off the equipment, which I thought was BS. If you can put it on, there's a way to get it off, because you gotta be able to take it off if it breaks. So, some of it was just obstinance on their part, but some of it might have been real. Since we never tried it, we don't know. We did talk to people in Idaho Falls, Jackson, and other communities that use them, and some of those people seem to love them, and some are not as high on it as we'd like them to be. But they've been making snow gates now for over 20 years. Somebody's buying them. So it means it works somewhere. I don't know, I'm not a heavy equipment operator either. So I would also defer anything to people like Keith who have more expertise. I don't know if he's ever used them.
We don't have that consistency.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like our snow isn't the same, like no two storms are the same. Like the snow's always, like sometimes it's light, dry, sometimes it's heavy as hell. Our weather's terrible for snow removal.
So they'd work some of the time, but
They would work like 25% of the time.
And it's the heavy wet snow that works best on, or?
No. Heavy wet snow doesn't work for anything.
So
And
the-
we have it half the time we have heavy wet snow. We have oddly warm temperatures in this area, we just do, especially here on the ranch.
well, I kind of get what you're saying there anyway, because we get different rates of snow and different quality of snow on different sections of the ranch in the same storm.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I live a mile from my in-laws, and I've been pushing 8 inches of snow out of my driveway, and what are you talking about? We don't have any. Oh, okay, great, bring your shovel and come on over.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, and so I get that. The biggest thing, and what I took away from what Keith was telling us last time, is that we really have to have a consistent plan for removal, and we have to follow that plan. Right now, we wait until we have 4 inches of snow already accumulated. Well, by then, inconsistency in snowfall, there are places on the ranch that might have 8 inches. And we're already well behind the 8 ball. So if it's snowing,
Is that part of this ordinance? Is it-
the policy?
Yeah,
Sorry.
policy,
yes,
yeah, so is that part of it, the amount of snow before they go?
yes,
If
it's
the
in the
road-
policy.
Okay.
So that's what we need to look at. We need to look at some of the legal verbiage used in the policy they drafted. We need to look at what our objectives are. One of the things that had been in the previous policy that they took out of this policy was clearing around fire hydrants. Well, you get a 6-foot wall of snow that's really more ice than snow on top of a fire hydrant. The fire people are not gonna be using that hydrant, not in the next half hour anyway. My house catches fire, it's probably gone before the fire truck gets here. That's a total loss. The reason for the fire department is so that your house next door doesn't go up, so that they can put that fire out and keep your house from burning. But if they now have to spend a half hour digging ice out around the fire hydrant we paid millions of dollars to have installed, your house is gone too, and we're maybe gonna get to the house next to you. And that's what they did when they took that out. And they took it out because Public Works didn't want to be responsible for clearing around the hydrants. You look at other parts of the road policy in the town, the road ordinance in the town, you're not allowed to do anything within the easement around a fire hydrant. So you can't even go, legally, can't even go clear it yourself. So nobody's gonna clear it. You want fire insurance? You want a discount on your fire insurance because we now have a fire suppression system in the town? Soon as they find out we put 6 foot of snow and ice on top of those fire hydrants for 5 months out of the year, you're not getting that discount. So these are the kinds of things we need to look at, and I get where Public Works is coming from. They're busy trying to clear the road. They can't stop, get out, and dig out that fire hydrant. So we have to figure out a way to make it a priority, but not their top priority, and how to get that done. And we explored a few things. They all got shot down before we could get started. And some of that had to do with obstinance, and some of it had to do with other issues. But we might be able to get more cooperation now. We've got to be more mindful about how to create this. So that's one of the things that we need to do. So we have to look at the snow removal policy with an eye on not beating up Public Works and not tearing down the council, but giving them a practical plan that will work. And I'm sorry, but I'm probably gonna rely on Keith for a fair amount of input on that. And I don't wanna put us at odds with Public Works, because what we recommend to the council might seem like us telling them how to do their job.
Well, other places have snow and fire hydrants, what do?
Some of them don't clear them, and that's a legitimate answer. Some of them do not. But most of them do. Some contract it out. Some put it on the citizen who's unfortunate enough to have the hydrant in their yard. And some have a public works department that comes back on Tuesday and clears it. I mean, there's a myriad of answers. It's the same answer as to how they bill for watering in different communities. Ours is kind of unique, but there are 15 plans in,
Build a shed over it.
that is one consideration, but then you have to still have a clear path to the shed. And the ordinance doesn't allow you to build a shed over it. That's illegal. You're doing something to the easement area around the hydrant, so you can't do it. And the purpose for that part of the ordinance was so that you don't do some kind of a decorative rock structure that makes the hydrant inaccessible, difficult to work on.
Understood, yeah.
You got one in front of your house, you don't like it, you want to jazz it up.
I love my hydrant.
But if you don't, you want to jazz it up, make it attractive, but now you've created a nightmare for Public Works. That hydrant all of a sudden needs maintenance. They've got to move your expensive landscaping. And the first thing you're going to do is come in here and yell at the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what the average citizen will do. So we've got to look at it in a way that makes it workable for the people who have to maintain it. And my personal belief is he's got to do that. I clear mine, and I'm waiting for Jim Rogers to come give me a ticket, but I clear mine. But I don't want to. I want them
Well,
to.
you like shoveling snow.
I do, but you know what? I've got a 65-foot long driveway that's very wide at the base. And by the time I've done that and cleared out 2 ice berms, I'm tired. And I'm 70.
You're just a youngster then.
I'm not doing it. And 10 years from now, I'm really not doing it. I'm calling Keith and saying, hey man, what's it gonna cost? But
I don't really like plowing snow on the ranch.
so, but I mean, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So we've got to come up with a policy. It is on the website. I'd like everybody to look at it again and get some ideas. And then when we come back next month, we can do that.
Okay, one more thing, if I can add.
Yeah,
So besides the snow policy being what we need to review, we also, we're trying to go through all the ordinances that we currently have. Unfortunately, when the town was started, they just basically took all the DCCNRs and rolled them over. And then as things came up, then they were adding ordinances that don't all apply currently. And some we need to actually like rebuild and redo. So, we were given traffic codes and, it's all evaluating roads and everything. So I can, I'll send an email out with that and then the snow policy. So, and like where you can find them on the website, and it makes it pretty easy to get there. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, it can get a little confusing. So I'll send that out. And then if you guys, it's up to you, if you would rather have it printed off, I can get copies of the traffic, or the chapters, there's 3 of them. And it's quite a bit. So if you'd rather not do it on a computer, I can get it printed out and you guys can just go through and edit what you feel needs to be in there and what needs to be out, or if it's something brand new that you think needs to be in there, like, I think it's, any ideas, any suggestions would be appreciated, so, yeah. So you guys, once I send it out, if you guys look at it and you're like, I want it on paper, just holler and I'll get it printed.
Okay.
So,
Another issue that's on our agenda is looking at impact fees. I don't even think we have them, do we?
we do not currently have any, and I was going to ask when Trevor was here, but it was getting kind of late for them, but, so, when Zach was saying like, you know, they go tear up the roads and they're supposed to put it back, kind of like Marty and I were talking about earlier, like, what if we were the only ones that tore up the roads and put it back? Like, basically, they would have to pay our guys, but in a fee. It doesn't even have to be a fee, I mean, you could do by a linear feet of however much is need to be torn up. And, like, if some of the houses need to go across the roadway or whatever, that we're the ones doing it, we're the ones putting back, all the chip seal, and then we charge them according to how much that costs us, basically. I mean, is that fair to a contractor, to somebody building a home, or even ideal? I mean, I don't even know if it would, because I feel like he's saying we're there anyway, so I'm like, well then, let's just do it. And especially if we have all the material and everything, versus before we didn't, so then that makes sense for us not to.
But there's still costs involved, even if, you know.
Well, that's
more-
what I'm saying, but we
yeah.
would have to charge for that. But is that, like, something that we could actually do as a town, or would a contractor be like, no, I did? Because remember, the meter pits, the contractor used to do that, but then it's like, obviously, that starts costing the town if something's incorrect.
Meter pits are really difficult, because some of the taps where they tap into the line to go to the meter pit, some of them are off the road, just in the easement. Some of them are on the other side of the road.
Right.
And so, like, the last one we did over here, they had to dig all the way across the road. And it's
So
been a,
the town did it?
yep,
Okay.
and it's been a dip right there ever since.
Yeah.
So, but that owner already paid $8,500 to get the meter pit put in. And that's already wild.
So it's usually 7,500, but,
What's that?
7,500, but it's still a lot of money.
I thought it was 85.
So I think we're 75, and I'm pretty sure Alpin's 95. So. We haven't changed it yet, so that's the only reason I know, but we were considering going up quite a bit, because we were told that we are off on our numbers anyway, as far as like, what the guys are having to buy extra to make sure that they don't hook into a house, and as far as that goes, but in $7,500, I guess you would do the math, like how much time it takes, and I guess that's what I was also saying, as far as, instead of an impact fee, just having it a straight cost, like if they have to dig it up and then put down the foundation and then chip seal a road, at that point, then it should be X amount of money. Versus it all just being a straight cost fee.
Like a flat.
Yeah, because I used to think that was a great idea, except that you do have some people that are needing something all the way across the road.
So some would be more and others
Yeah.
maybe less, but.
Yeah, some are almost, some meter pits, it takes like an hour,
And it's,
and it's in and they're done.
they don't have to go through the road necessarily because it's already
Yeah.
on that side.
And some meter pits take the whole crew 2 days.
I know. And that's kind of what I was thinking. So I don't know that you would call it an impact fee, but those are just more fees that should be normal anyway. Like we should get assessed for, and have them paid out for what it's costing the town. So I'm
So
not
could that
necessarily
be
wanting to
done
make money out of it.
at permitting? Would the town, I've got a vacant lot, I want you to build my house. You go, you take the plans to get permitted, you show up down here, would the town know where the tap-in is on that road for that plot? Or is that something you find out after you start digging?
A little bit of both. They typically can say, oh, it's here or here, but they still
I don't.
they still spend X amount of time investigating.
Yeah, I don't mean that, you know, it's not a smart bomb, it's not gonna be exactly where they say it is.
Right.
But they should know if it's on the right side
You
of
can say
or the left
based
side
on
of
the
the street.
distance into the street or whatever,
Yeah,
yours is gonna cost X amount more.
if they should know if it's on the other side of the street. They
Yeah.
may not know if it lines up perfectly where they believe it is on the side of the street they think it's on. I imagine there's a fair amount of variance as to where you're gonna tap in.
There's a ton of variance.
And some of that is up to the contractor, right? Or is it
Well,
not?
no, like where the tap is where the tap is
Okay, so
for every
that's-
single lot.
Okay.
You don't get to say, you know, they come out and say, no, this is where we go.
This is where it is, you gotta
And
put your
that's,
line here.
that's why they're really hammering down on the driveways versus the water meters. Because, you know, for a while, people could just do their driveway. And they're like, no, you know, a lot of times people do their driveway and they're like, well, the water meters, we actually have to put it in your driveway, you actually have no choice. That was one of the reasons they started cracking down on that. And making everybody do a driveway like a separate permit for it and have it be approved on its own, was because they were conflicting with water meters.
So I'm just trying to figure out, like, would it be better for the town to probably cut through the road and replace it and fix it? I mean, I'm sure there was a dip, but I'm pretty sure the guys are like, well, we're gonna wind up fixing this road anyway.
Right.
So they're not too concerned that way, but normally, if it was kind of like Ridgecrest, you know, like, it's all cut up now, our guys will have the materials and the equipment to fix it, like, we should probably just charge to fix it and know it's done correctly, like Zach said.
Right.
Or is that contractors like nightmare, like, oh no, they're just gonna, because I don't think we're gonna make money off of that by any means, but at least we know it's done correctly.
Right.
And we're getting reimbursed to the degree where we're not bleeding out funds from the town, or resources, which I feel like we can do sometimes. You know?
It's hard because if you were to outsource those things and then hold them liable,
See, that's what we've been doing, and we're not holding them liable. And it's like he said, like, now I'm finding all these things. And now he's saying also, Zach's saying, well, if I'm there, or if one of my best guys are there, we're basically babysitting. And I'm like, well, would it just be better for the town to be doing that sort of thing and going through that process and charging the other utility company, contractor, whoever it is, for using our services that we have to use to fix it? Or is it better to have just a guy babysitting a crew that isn't ours and watching them try to fix it?
I think Public Works has to do their own quality control there.
Yeah. And it would probably be doing it, but.
I see only one issue with having the town do it. If the town isn't available when the contractor needs it to be done, then it holds up the contractor.
Yeah.
Which puts a greater expense, at least theoretically, on the
But we
homeowner.
are putting the meter pits in right now anyway, but I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying.
If they've got to dig the trench, I mean, we don't want them to dig the trench and leave a trench there for 3 days with nobody doing anything.
Right.
And the other side to that is, if the contractor says, okay, we're gonna be ready to do this on Tuesday, and the town isn't available, but the contractor could dig it up themselves, I mean, they've been able to dig everything else up. We're telling them, well, but you can't. So now, maybe there are other things they can do,
Yeah.
but maybe this is what they really need to get done now. Maybe this is the workers they've got available
I hear you.
for that.
Well, that's not the point of this, to hold up.
Right.
work, so
We
yeah.
don't wanna, we don't wanna create any greater hamper for the contractor and the home buyer than we need to. But the other side is, I also don't want somebody to come in here, tear up our road, put in what they gotta put in, throw a bunch of dirt and base over it and color it square, and then leave us holding the bag. So I'm wondering if there's a way at permitting for that to be estimated and
Held in an account, say, okay,
part of the permit.
whatever,
which
$50,000
means-
or whatever.
I don't know, it's been so long since I built something here, I don't know what it costs to get a permit, a building permit, but say it's $1,000, and they also project that repairing the road's gonna be another $1,000, could they make that a $2,000 permit fee?
It's a flat fee,
As of right now, our permit fees here are cheap compared to other places. So, and it hasn't really slowed down like Alpine, their permitting is getting absolutely ridiculous. And they're changing it a lot right now, actually. Well, more enforcing.
yeah.
Been changing, they're enforcing what they should have been enforcing, and it isn't slowing the damn thing down.
Alpine's got more money than we do. I'm not talking about the town, I'm talking about. the
Well, I
people
mean,
that
it's
live
not, what they're charging each individual for permitting, they're charging them more than ever before, and it isn't slowing anything down.
there. So at least theoretically, that's maybe a solution to the problem. And then maybe we can let the contractor go ahead and dig the pit or
Well, in
They
the ordinance
can't-
now, they can't.
they
yeah.
can't put the pit in, but they
Yeah.
could dig across the road.
Well, I don't know, cause, okay, yeah, cause sometimes I've seen them actually doing that, but then I was told they aren't supposed to do that, but I've not heard of anybody getting in trouble, so I don't know if there's kind of
I think
a gentleman's
letting,
agreement there.
even though I would do my due diligence digging across the road, I think it's a bad idea to let anybody
Well-
else dig across the road.
I kinda have issues with that too, because I don't want a whole neighborhood to be without water because somebody wasn't.
Well, you think the dips are bad now. The dips will get really bad.
What is it, One Call Wyoming, who does the calling on that, if somebody has to go across
So
road? Is it
if-
Friends or is it?
So if the town is doing a meter pit, the town calls for locates.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, I got it. Well, I don't know, I feel like it would be a town responsibility anyway,
Okay.
but I think that needs to be added
So then
in.
what we probably need to do is build the cost of it into, the permitting or fee structure.
But in doing so, it would be different because not everybody, like you said, one will take an hour, the other will take 2 days.
And also, some already have meter pits.
True.
A lot of meter pits were put in like 15 years ago or so. They went around and did a bunch of meter pits. And so sometimes people buy a lot that already has a meter pit. So I guess in that case, their permit would have to be cheaper.
Well, then that would just be the housing permit, you wouldn't have to pay for the
Okay.
hook, or putting the actual meter
Right.
in, cause it's already there. Cause this, right now, we have the permit for the house, like, through our building official and everything. And then we also have, putting in like a water meter, like a water pump. And so those are two different costs, and the water pump itself is the $7,500. I think isn't it like $1,200 for a building permit? It's not that much anymore. They may have increased, I can't remember exactly, look.
No, it's more than that.
It
But they-
wasn't very much for a
But they,
while.
upon fulfilling your requirements as the homeowner or whatever, they reimburse you for, I think it was more like $2,000.
Oh,
and
the
then
deposit part,
and then they'll reimburse you for like anything other than like if you had extra inspections or violations or
Right.
whatever, they take that out of that $2,000. And you might get half of it back, you might not get any of it.
so they recently stopped doing deposits, so I don't know that they do that anymore. Like last year, we switched that because it was getting so bad.
No, I think pay the permit up front now, and there is no, prorating or rebate. I know when I built my garage, there was a permit. It had to be, I think it was $1,000, and then, I didn't pay for the permit directly, the builder did, so he got the excess,
Refund back.
the refund
Yeah,
was given back to him.
and I don't know where they hold that money, is it just in like the general fund or what, I don't
So
know.
are you talking about deposit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't do the deposit anymore. What
Yeah.
we do is for new single-family residents, it's $500 for like the flat fee, and then they charge an additional, oh, that's the admin fee. So probably for some of the building official stuff, but then, they add, an additional fee of $1 per square foot. So if you're building a 1,500 square foot home, it's another 15,000 plus the or 1,500, excuse me, plus the 500. So it'd be $2,000 for a 1,500 square foot home. So we stopped doing deposit because, yeah, it wasn't being, we couldn't keep track. They couldn't tell where the money went and stuff, so it was getting crazy, so they stopped doing that part. So no more deposit. But that is really cheap.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, which is reasonable. And the thing is, that to me, it's not making money off of it, just covering our building official, which is about right
Well,
for
that's-
that. Yeah, but that should also be with our water, and those permits, like, we're not gonna make any money, but right now I feel like we're losing. So the water, board will be assessing how much to charge for a tap and stuff, but, I think, like you said, the roads and the water go together, so it's like, I think the road board should have a suggestion as well, if not just the amount, but maybe what they're charging for.
Well, I think, however it works out, the town should, be reimbursed, for the cost of replacing whatever damage is done to the road.
I agree.
Right now, we eat it, and the result of that historically is our roads are crap.
And it's kind of, that's what I mean for Zach
But
to say, that, you know, the other guys just may have thrown it down and there was nothing. And so it puts a standard there if our guys
Yeah.
are doing it.
I don't have a problem with them doing it.
Oh, no.
Especially right now, it seems like we're pretty well fully staffed. We have it sounds like we have the competence to do it. I don't have a problem with that. But even so, we dig it up, if somebody digs it up because they want a house or whatever they want, we shouldn't eat the cost of that. Leisure Valley has a leak like they did 2 weeks ago on Vista, and they dig it up. Okay, 300 yards of Vista, it has to be recompacted, re-chip sealed. There's a cost to that. And even though it may not seem like it's a cost anybody feels, because the town's already hired the workers, they were already gonna pay them, we already have the materials, so it almost seems like it's free. It's not. Because we get enough of that, we gotta hire another worker, we gotta buy more materials, we got all that stuff. It's not free, it costs. And I don't
More
think,
vehicle maintenance.
yeah, I don't think anybody should get it for free. Where it's free, I use that word loosely, is when it's our pipe and we screwed it up and we gotta dig it up and we gotta put it back. There is nobody to charge because it's ours. But when it's yours, I expect you to pay for it. You know, like I said, I break my neighbor's window, I pretty much gotta buy him a new window. And, you know, I know he's gonna go to Anderson and make me pay top dollar too, but, you know, I gotta.
Maybe, is there something in ordinance to say that at all, like?
Right now, no, there's no fee, so, the repair work on Vista, I don't know if we did anything or if it was all Leisure Valley, but we can't claim any of that.
Yeah. The only problem is, again, then if Leisure Valley did it, and I think it was over the weekend, like one of our guys had to come in and observe at least, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, I just saw people out there digging, but I don't think our vehicles were out there, so I think they were doing most of it.
Our guy came out
Yeah, our guy,
our guy came out to find out that it wasn't our
yeah,
pipe. Some of those costs we're gonna just eat, that's
oh
the
yeah,
cost
no,
of doing
not
business.
that, but I'm just talking about like if somebody had to sit there and babysit those guys fixing it,
Yeah,
that's more what I was meaning.
I'm not looking at passing that kind of cost on. What I'm looking at is, there should be a fee, maybe a square footage fee, a linear footage fee, something for how much road they tear up, that this is what you have to give the town to have that repaired.
Yeah,
And, you know, there should be a standard. If the work is gonna be done on a weekend and the town can't get in here to do it, they shouldn't make that road impassable all weekend. They've done the job. They should at least put some steel plates down or something so that we can
right on.
reopen the road. But we should be able to recoup the cost based on a standard schedule for what we think it costs to fix a road that maybe had 30 linear yards torn up.
And I don't know that you would necessarily call that an impact fee, we might even be able to call it something else, since nobody likes the word impact fee. So it might be able to just be rolled into one of our
I mean,
other fees as well.
Yeah, we look at what Silver Star's doing all around town there right now. And of course, they did this like 8 years ago, once already, for the same project. And now they're doing it again for the same project. And
But
those
just-
roads aren't gonna be as good as they were before they started when they're done. I've already seen where they're not. So, there should be a cost to that, to fix that. And granted, it brings a service into the town, but,
Well, that you have to pay for though.
right,
They're charging $350 for, what did they call it?
to hook up to files,
So, yeah, that's like your, what do they call it? They called it the,
connection fee?
no, they called it a, design fee,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Design fee, and then they, charge you $350 for that, but then they charge you whatever they're gonna charge for their monthly, so.
But I think we need to look at drafting, and obviously we can't do it tonight, but we need to look at drafting up an ordinance to recommend to the town so that we can recoup some of those costs. Especially now that it looks like the town's gonna move forward with getting the roads paved. Because tearing those up is gonna be more costly than just throwing some road baits down and, spraying some water on it and running a grader and a steamroller over it. You know, it's gonna get to be more costly, and not repairing it is gonna be even more costly the further down the road we get. So, I'd like us to look at doing that as well, taking a look at, and what it probably will entail is looking at what other communities do with respect to impact fees and whatever else you call it. Also on the agenda is grants. We've kind of already covered that. We can't do much with grants until we have a plan that we can actually ask to have a grant awarded for. But it is something that we need to look at. There are a couple of websites that you can get, that list a number of grants that are offered. They're not global, so they don't cover all the grants that are out there, but they cover a vast number of them. And it would behoove us, especially as we get more organized with a road plan, to start checking those maybe
You can't get
weekly.
grants if you don't ask for them, so.
Well, right, but you can't, even if you ask, if you don't know what you're asking for, you're never gonna get it. And you don't wanna start putting bad grants out, because they're gonna see you coming and say, yeah, we don't need to pay attention to these guys.
So we need to hammer them for a written proposal.
We do need to get a plan. I don't wanna hammer them, cause we're,
Well,
like I said, we're already starting in a hole. And I don't wanna point fingers, but when the prior administration didn't even want a road board, they did everything they could to keep us from being effective. And to date, not one recommendation that we have given the council has been approved. And every single one of them has been opposed by the mayor who was sitting at the time, including just putting out a survey that wouldn't have cost the town much money at all to ask people what they wanted to see from the roads. They wouldn't even do that. So if you can't convince your council to let you even ask the constituents what they'd like the council to do, you got a council that doesn't want you doing anything. And that's what we have. I'm hopeful that we don't have that council today. And if it continues to go that way, you'll be looking for a new chairman. Because I'm not gonna, I've beat my head against the wall already long enough. I'm not gonna keep doing it. I said I'm old. I'm not gonna be here much longer. So,
Don't give up.
It does sound like you're giving up.
you know what? I'm old, I'm entitled.
The Hulkster went down today, so he's my age, same age as me.
So, I mean, that's the reality of it. When I've done this in the past, I did not waste a lot of time trying to drag somebody kicking and screaming to the solution they really want, but don't want because they think they need to resist everything. I would either move on or move around. We can't move around the council. They are the governing body. So it's either they're gonna let us function or, I'm gonna call it what it is, that we're here in name only and they don't want us to do a damn thing. And if that's it, every time I see certain names on the ballot, I'm gonna make sure that certain voters know. Because that's how you get them to pull their heads out of their asses.
I've been on advisory boards before, and you find out real quick, you're just an advisory board.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I don't even need them to take my advice. But they need to recognize that I wouldn't be offering it if they didn't have a problem they have to solve. So if they're not gonna listen to the advice, they at least need to recognize the problem. And where we're at right now is that Public Works is moving on without us, which is fine, but Public Works isn't gonna be able to get a lot of funding other than what their plan is right now, and that's to self-fund. Okay. I don't have kids in this community, but I know people that do. We don't have a park in this community except a swing set by a swimming pool. Every dollar we spend self-funding roads is a dollar we can't spend giving somebody something other than this parking lot to ride their bike in or a skateboard on. I mean, we've got nothing for them.
Just throw them in a golf cart and say, have fun.
That's the other problem. That's what the kids in the community do now. They pile 6 people on a golf cart and run 40 miles an hour down a road.
Mine won't go 40.
Well, whatever it does do, or they throw them on an ATV. And that's fun for the kid till he gets hit by somebody who was spending too much time at the bar.
Or it's driving on our new chip seal roads and they can go a lot faster now.
Yeah, so, the thing is, this isn't the community it was in 1980, it's the community it is now. We have kids here. When I first came here, we had maybe 3 school buses that came into town. We now have like 8. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's getting close to 2:30, I don't even try to come home if I'm in town. Because I don't wanna stop all the way at Vista.
Even in just the time that my kids have been at the bus stop, it's gone from 4 kids to 12.
That's
Yeah.
like us too.
And I'm good with that, I like kids. I think we need to provide something for them, you know? I played pickleball at the trailer park down here, and we'd have kids come play pickleball with us, and a lot of the old farts would try to discourage the kids, and I'd tell them, okay, these kids live in trailers like 3 down from you. You want them here playing pickleball with you, or you want them in your trailer looking for alcohol and spare change? Your choice. I live on the range. You know? So we should give them a park. So let's not self-fund if we can get money somewhere else. That's kind of my point. But we need to get a plan out of them so that we can.
Well, I can figure out how I mean, I can ask, but I think they were gonna go by the road study, but I'll clarify it with Trevor. And then, I know we're supposed to have a meeting in 2 weeks. Do you wanna extend it to September instead? And give them time
Sure.
to get back to everybody on that?
Sure. That's the last thing on the agenda, is to pick when we want to meet next.
Oh, sorry, wasn't trying to rush.
I'll be in Europe for part of September.
Then what are you bitching about them doing?
You don't.
That's my wife's idea.
You're worried about the dust from there.
It's up to you guys. I mean, we can do August too if you want. I just didn't know if we wanted to.
I'm good with an August meeting if you think it's fruitful. What I'd like to do, our kind of group assignment would be to take a look at the snow policy. And we can work through email to, make recommendations for changes to that policy. And look over it, she's saying we've got this online for the road plan.
Well, I can type out how you guys go about finding it all.
Okay.
That way it's just easy, and it's really quite easy, you could go on there easily enough, but it's just, even like finding our ordinances can be actually hard on our website, so I'll just pin it and then send it to everybody so they have it.
I'm gonna see if I can find out more about these grants and
Sure.
what it's gonna take to get signed up.
When are you leaving for Europe?
September 10th.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So if we wanted an August meeting, you can
Yeah.
attend one. When is good for you to meet? What days of the week?
It is impossible to know. Actually, the Tuesdays were working when we were
Okay.
doing that first Tuesday.
Okay.
Was it first or second Tuesday?
It was
the
first.
The
First.
second Tuesday is the.
That's right, yeah. So that works for me, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Unfortunately, I have conflicts on both the first and second.
Of
But I-
August.
Yeah, I can do the third Tuesday, which is the 19th. Or we can push the August meeting into September. Like I said, there's nothing in the ordinance that says we have to meet every month. And, I mean, this almost counts as 3 meetings here today.
You said you're leaving September 10th. So if we go the first Tuesday of
First
September.
Tuesday, September 2nd?
It's the day after Labor Day. I never go anywhere, but is that
Yeah,
okay with
no,
everybody?
I'm good.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
Okay, 6 o'clock, good for everybody?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, let's keep it at 6 for now, but then I'll ask if it's easier for Zach if we do it earlier.
Do we want Zach at the meeting?
Not necessarily, but if we do, I don't wanna have to keep changing the time. So
Right.
if he's like, hey, I would like to come to some, like you said, he sometimes just sits in the back. I just wanna make it so he's not having to
Right.
stay longer.
He's fun to have around because you can hardly understand him.
Nah, he's not that bad.
I've gotten used to it.
It's actually kinda comforting. I love the sound of his accent. Okay. So none in August, but in September. Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, does anybody want to adjourn? I don't have anything more.
Okay, motion to adjourn. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Right?
We're adjourned. A lot of chair people do not like to make their own motions. I don't have a problem with making one. What I don't like to do is make a motion that involves me.
All right.